Hello everyone, welcome to Vision Tech Solutions channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the OSPF routing protocol, which is one of the dynamic routing protocols that we use in our network. So I'm going to start with the topology that we have. So here in this network, as you can see, we have four routers, R1, R2, R3, and 4. We have divided our network into two areas, area 12, area 23, and we have one backbone area, area 0. As you can see, R1 actually is the border router, or ABR for area 12, and area 0. R2 again is the border router of area 12, 23, and 0, and we have one R3 which can be considered as the border router or ABR of area 23 and area 0. We are going to configure the OSPF, and the goal is to establish reachability between R3 and the loopbacks of R1 and R2. And there are some tasks that we are going to do. So first, we need to configure the OSPF on R1, R2, and R3 with the process ID of 1. On R1, on R4, we are going to enable OSPF on the interface level. As you know, we can configure SPF using the network command, or we can configure the OSPF on the interface level. Then we use area 12 between R1 and 2 and advertise loopback 0 of R1 to the area 12, and we advertise loopback 0 of R3 to area 23. On R1, we are going to enable OSPF only for the exact interfaces, exact IP addresses. And on R2, we are going to enable OSPF on the networks, like 155.1.21.0/24 and 123 on both these networks. And then R3, again, we are going to enable on the networks, connected networks. 23, and of course also it should be 34 as well, because we have two networks, so it should be 30. I think there's 34. Okay, so on 23 and on 34, and then we have to make sure that R3 has reachability to the loopback IP addresses of R2 and R1. So in the beginning, if I go to R3 and I check if we have connectivity, I just ping 150 the loopback of R1 and R2, .1.1.1.1, and you can see I don't have reachability. The same thing to 2 and 2. So we cannot reach the loopback IP addresses because OSPF is not configured yet. So I start with router 1. It says enable OSPF only for interfaces with the exact IP addresses of 150.1.1, like the exact IP of this one, loopback, and the gig 00. So I'm going to router 1. I'll go to the configuration mode, router OSPF 1. I issue the command. If we want to configure for the exact IP address, what I will do, I will use 1 with the wildcard mask of 0000. So as you know, wildcard mask is used to specify the network that we want to advertise into OSPF. Area 12, and I will do the same for 150.1.1 with the and area 12. Okay, that was for router 1. On router 2, enable OSPF on all interfaces with the subnets of the networks, actually the connected networks. There are two connected networks, one gig 00 and one gig 01. So on router 2, router OS1 network 155.1.12.0, because I want to advertise the network. So 000.255 area 12 and network 155.1.23.0 with the subnet mask of 255.00255 area 23. And as you can see, the OSPF adjacency just established between these two routers. And also I think we have to so for router 1 it says advertise loopback 0, which we also did when we advertise these two networks, the loopback and the connected network. Actually we have done this part. So for R3 again we want to do on the subnets, connected networks on the subnets. So I'll go on R3. Router OS1, router OS1 network 155.1.23.0.000.255 area 23, and I will do 155. .155.1.34.000.255 area 0. Okay, actually what also I need to do, I have to also establish advertise into area 0 on router 1 and router 2, which I haven't done yet. So I advertise these two into OSPF. On router 2 I will also add the network, because I want to do the on the subnet, advertise the subnets 155.1.24.0.0.255 area 0. So this link is in area 0, this link gig 02 actually is in area 0, gig 00 is in area 12, and gig 01 is area 23. Again the same thing here, gig 00 in area 12 and gig 01 in area 0. So I'll go to router 1, and here if I want to do the exact 155.1.40.1.0.0.0 area 0. Okay, now the configuration R1, R2 and R3 is finished. Now I'll go to R4 and I want to enable OSPF on the interface level. So I go to int gig 01. First, the IP addresses have been specified. Show IP interface brief. As you can see, 24.2, 24 is between this router 4 and router 2. 155.1.24.1 is router 2. 2 is router 4. 14.2 is between router 4 and router 1, and 34.2 is between router 3 and router 4. It's 34.1 is router 3 and router 4 is 34.2. So I need to go to all interfaces 00 IP OSPF 1 area 0. I go to 1 IP OSPF 1 area 0, and I go to 02 IP OSPF 1 area 0. And now if I do the verification, show IP OSPF neighbors, I can see that I am neighbor adjacencies just with 1, 2, and 3 because I had enabled OSPF on these interfaces. Okay, now the configuration is done. Let's go and check the configuration first. So show IP OSPF neighbors. As you can see, I have neighbor adjacency with R2 and R4. It's okay. If I go to R2, I have neighbor adjacency with R3, R1, R3, and R4, which is 34.2. I go to R3, show IP OSPF neighbor. I have neighbor adjacency with R2 and R4. And finally R4 we checked. Now we want to do the verification. If from R3 now we have reachability. In the beginning I checked and we didn't have connectivity. That one, and there you go. You can see that I can reach now the loopback of router 1. If I go to 2, okay, I cannot reach R2. Probably there is some issue with the OSPF configuration. Show run section OS. So as you can see, I haven't advertised the loopback into OSPF. So I go conf-t router OS1, and I have to advertise 150.1.2 at 0. And because I want to advertise the network, I use 0 and area 1, 2. I advertise this loopback also in area 12. Now if I go to router 3 and issue, and there you go, you can see that I can reach because I hadn't advertised. I forgot to advertise the loopback. Now I have connectivity from R3 to the loopback interfaces. All interfaces are up. On the other hand, if I go to router 2 and issue the command show IP OSPF database, so I can see that R2 is also the border area router, and we can see the summary link advertises, which shows the OSPF database and different areas and router linked states, net linked states, and summary linked states. And if I issue the command show IP route OSPF, so I can see the intra-area OSPF routes. If I go on R3, show IP route OSPF, and as you can see, I can see now inter-area routes and intra-area routes. So these are the inter-area routes which I am receiving from the border router. So in this lab we configured the OSPF, the basic OSPF in these on these routers, and also we verify the connectivity. I hope this lab has been useful, and see you in the next lab. Thank you.